Hello, Grumpy Old Fart here. Um, I'm doing a family game night video, and this is not so much a story as, I guess, I don't want to use the term tutorial because it's not quite that. This is more of an informational video. Um, in Dungeons and Dragons, they have what are called character classes, and classes are your job in the world, D&D world. Fighters fight, wizards cast spells, clerics heal, and they can fight thieves, steal things, they can sneak around and do stuff. Um, and many character classes in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons have traits and abilities to help them to survive in the wilderness. And a lot of them are pretty good at it, especially when they get into higher levels. But even at lower levels, some of these classes are very, very survivable in a wilderness environment. Barbarians, they're tough, they're hardy, they have a lot of hit points, they have healing, automatic healing proficiencies. Uh, they have certain abilities that allow them to traverse nature, uh, survival skills, that kind of thing, and they're pretty good. Rangers are the rugged outdoorsmen. In modern times, they would be, I guess, mountain men. The hunters, fishers, trappers. They live out in the middle of nowhere, and they can survive on on nature. They can survive off of nature, as it were. The rugged outdoorsman type. Clerics at higher levels are really good. They have, and even at lower levels, they have healing spells. Clerics can wear armor just like a fighter, and they can have heavy weapons like a mace to do significant damage, and they fight almost as good as fighters do. So they have some good abilities there. But they also at higher levels have a spell called Word of Recall. So if a high level cleric gets into a tight spot, he uses the spell. He casts the spell Word of Recall, and it automatically teleports him, transports him back to a safe space, as it were. Gets him out of a tight jam. Wizards, magic users, mages, whatever you want to call them, they have a number of spells to help them. They don't have very many hit points. They have the lowest hit points in the game, but they have the best offensive punch in the fact that they have powerful spells that can deal a lot of damage. But they also have some defensive spells, like Stone Skin, Armor, that kind of thing. Informational spells to help them find out stuff. And they can teleport. So if they get into a tight spot, they can teleport anything they want, as long as they've seen it or been there or whatever. And even if they haven't, it's risky, but they can teleport to places they haven't been to. But some of these character classes are very survivable in an outdoor environment. But in my opinion, none of them even come close to druids. Druids are a subclass of clerics, and they are priests of nature. They survivalists these days, they teach you how to circumvent certain aspects, some of the deadlier aspects of nature, like weather. They show you how to build shelters. They show you how to find food in the wilderness, in the woods, and whatever. How to find potable water, that kind of thing. Right? Okay. Well, clerics enjoy animal friendship. Most animals will fight to protect the druid. The animals will actually bring them food. You got to go foraging, they'll bring you food. As long as you're a vegetarian, you're good to go. And most druids are. Um, they have weather control spells to avoid that deadly aspect of nature. The storm's coming in, well, we'll just send it that way. That kind of thing. Tweak it a little bit, make it not so bad. Well, it looks like another blizzard coming. No, we'll send it over that way. You know. They can create water, just like a cleric can create water as well, but druids are really good at it. They have the protection of plants and trees. So the undergrowth, the trees, the shrubs, they'll protect druids. And at high levels, druids can shape change into normal animals. And a lot of people think, well, shape changing into a normal animal isn't that big a deal. Well, guess what? When you're in an outdoor environment, that is a godsend. I have a friend named Gerald. Gerald is the ultimate gamer. Gerald is very intelligent. He's got the perfect head for gaming. Very smart. He's one of those guys who knows more about your character, and you're holding the sheet in front of you. You know. When he was in the military, he was EOD, which is explosive ordnance disposal. So he's very, very logical, intelligent person. Um, he told me a story that happened to him a long time ago, and I'm going to kind of abbreviated relate it to you. He was running a druid, a high-level druid, in a high-level game, and they were in the vast reaches of the Arctic North. And the group was going along, and I don't know what they were doing. I don't remember enough about the story. It's been years since I've heard it. But the entire party was wiped out, except for Gerald's druid. And Gerald was left with nothing out on the slopes of a mountainside, and it was, hip-deep snow, and he was just destitute. He had nothing. No armor, no weapons, no supplies, nothing. So what did he do? His druid shape changed into a polar bear and walked home. It's that simple. Polar bears are normal animals. So when people look at the D&D books, the first thing they do is they go for the fighter or the wizard. Don't discount that druid offhand, because it's one thing to be able to avoid some of the deadly aspects of nature, such as wild animals and weather, but druids enjoy the protection and support of these aspects. If you're going on a long wilderness trek in Dungeons and Dragons, and the DM says, hey, so what character would you like to play? Consider a druid. They have some alignment restrictions, but it's nothing you can't get past. And they can use weapons. They can even use a type of a sword called a tulwar, which clerics can't do, at least in the basic rules. And they can wear leather armor, as I understand it. And they have some pretty good spells too. Some of them are quite powerful. And nature works with them, not against them. So if you're going on a long wilderness trek in a D&D game, consider a druid. Trust me, you could do far, far worse. You folks have a good day. God bless one and all.